Welcome back to the Shine Within podcast. Joining us today is the inspiring Mai-Liis Kivistik, a passionate advocate for holistic wellness and natural beauty. As a naturopath and founder of MaiWistik Skincare, Mai-Liis blends the power of herbal remedies and holistic methods to help people feel and look their best. Her wellness journey began after being diagnosed with hyperthyroidism in 2018, which ignited her fascination with herbal treatments and holistic health. In addition to her expertise as a yoga and face yoga instructor, she's recognized in her home country of Estonia as a leading voice in wellness, earning prestigious honors such as Educator of the Year. Mai-Liis believes in a whole body approach to health, encouraging everyone to embrace their natural beauty and thrive from the inside out. Well, I'm all about cosmetics. I don't know about natural beauty. I love makeup. I'm not even sure if you have if you're branching out, starting to do makeup products for your skincare line. Are you doing that at all?
Not yet, no. So far, only skincare.
Hey, that's the start. Because I mentioned to you that I'm in the spa business. I'm a massage therapist, but I work with estheticians and they give me all these tips and tricks and what to do, how to care for my skin. And it is important because our skin is the biggest organ of our body and it's important that we take care of it. So I'm all about essential oils. I'm all about my morning and evening routine. I'm all about herbal remedies. So yes, I'm excited to have you share with my audience your business and what you do. So if you could just start off by sharing your journey, because you were in IT, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and doing marketing, right? Or was it just
Yes.
IT? Not
IT and marketing and event management. So my background is really different, might say, because I started off as a ballroom dancer. I did it for 10 years. So I also know a lot about makeup because when I was 13 or 12, my face looked like 25-year-old because all these things I had to put on my face to look good on the floor, right?
right.
But it was fun. And my goal was to be a dancer. I wanted to go study in Denmark. It was all planned out. But I'm sure, as many people, everybody knows that actually, if you are in high competitive sports, injuries happen. And that's why also my leg got injured and all these dancing plans, they crashed. So I was about 17 years old at that time. And everything I knew was dancing. So I just randomly picked something to study in the university because my brother was in IT and he was pretty good in it and got good money. So made sense. Okay, I don't know anything else than dancing. I can learn something that actually can earn me money, and that was it. And of course, it was interesting, and I wouldn't say it was waste of my time, but I didn't like it at all. So the 4 years I actually studied, I finished the bachelor's degree. I used some bits of it still, but I hated it. Like it wasn't my passion at all. But because the background was in IT, I ended up in different startups. And if you are in a small company, you can do different things. So from there, I moved to marketing and I started also doing events, IT startup events for university students. So from there, I actually got to the point to do the events. And of course, it was high pressure because these were international events. I worked in Mind Valley, maybe some of you know, creating different events around the world. And I burned out within 3 years, like really fast and bright. And then I got my diagnosis, hyperthyroidism. And I was about 26 at that time. Because my background was athletic, my mom and my grandmother always used herbal medicine on me before like using any real medicine from the pharmacy. I knew that there has to be a better way than just taking some hormones for the rest of my life. But my physician actually told me that this is your life now. And that was the point where I started looking how and what I can do. And actually, I got myself fixed within 6 months. No hormones, no medication like that. I did body cleansing, I used some herbs, and at that time, I actually went to study herbs just for me. I didn't plan to create any kind of skincare line or anything like that. I just wanted to understand them more because here in Estonia, let's say over 100 years ago, there were witches and all that really popular, right? So we have this in our blood to know how to use herbs. But because maybe at home nobody really spoke about different herbs, only like peppermint and like oregano and these things, there wasn't much to go by. And I didn't want to read because there's a lot of books about herbs, but this felt a bit boring. So I went to study. I actually studied 2 years. And by that time, I had my own thyroid problem. And one of my friends asked me to do some kind of cream for her psoriasis because she had already tried different medications and even traveled because of the sun. Sun is good for psoriasis, it's a skin condition, and tried everything. So now maybe I can do something. And from that school, the first thing you learn is that if you see one herb a lot, this has a message. And I don't know if it grows in your area, but here or in Europe, it's really popular weed called celandine. You can find it like everywhere. It has an orange juice. I saw that one, but you can't eat it because it's a bit poisonous juice. Back at old times, people put it on warts and like skin conditions, right? So I was a bit shocked. Like, I can't use it as a tea or make a salad out of it. What is up with that herb? And when I looked deeper, I realized this is actually natural iodine. And when you have issues with thyroid, it's usually lack of iodine, part of it, why it actually acts up. And also with psoriasis, the skin condition, this juice actually helps to heal your skin faster and you get new skin also faster, which you want when you have these pumples or pimples on your hand or face and you scratch it until it's broken, right? So from that point, I was actually sold that this herb can do so many things. And it kind of happened by accident how I started my skincare line. Because if there was already one cream that actually healed, then there should be some other products that are for normal skin. Because if you say the word herb in Estonian, it actually sounds like it's a medicine and people are afraid of it. But actually, herbs are just typical things like basil can be used for toothache, right? But nobody really talks about it. So there's many different sides how we can use the herbs that we eat. So that's the story in a short run.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. And it is true. Like I even use cloves to, if I have like a toothache, it numbs it for me instead of using Orajel, which has so much crap probably inside of it. I tend to use the cloves, even with my children too. If they're having a toothache or if who knows, maybe they're getting a cavity. They shouldn't, with children, I'll have them just have that clove there and kind of bite down and it helps them and alleviates that pain. So I love that. And can you go ahead and say that herb again that you use in Estonia?
Yeah, it's called celandine with a C.
Saladin with this. Yeah, I've never heard of that before. So thank you for bringing that up. Now, is it, I mean, is it worldwide? Can we get it here in the US?
I know it's popular in Europe, but I don't know if it grows in the States. It should because it's so typical wheat. I don't see any issues for that herb to actually bloom everywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And I love how you say, like, oh, witches in the melting pot, because that's how we create stuff. Everything is already here for us on Earth. It's here. We don't need medication so people can make profits. Companies can make profits of giving us poison. I always say, well, in the US anyway, is not a healthcare system. It's a disease management system. They just want us ill constantly. And that's why I'm all about natural products. And that's why I'm grateful for what you're doing is bringing awareness to also people globally saying, hey, pay attention to what you're putting in your body. Toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo, body wash, lotion, even babies, right? we mop the floor with chemicals. They're on the floor crawling and they're with their hands and they're like, what do they put in their mouths? Their hands, they're teething. So they're getting chemicals as well. So anything not with natural products, I'm all for. So yes, thank you.
Thank you for saying it. I so agree. People often just don't think. They
Yeah.
think, okay, I will change my deodorant, but I still use this chemical for washing my dishes, for example, and then using these hands on my face. So yeah, there's a lot of different sides.
Oh yes. Now for listeners new to herbal remedies, where would where would you have them start when when incorporating like botanical herbs into their daily routine?
I would actually start near your house. Just go outside, see what herbs grow there. It doesn't mean that if you live in the city center now you need to pick everything you see, but just try to see what is there and can you recognize it. Because the easiest superfood is actually common weed, like let's say weed, like dandelion, like lady's mantle, like nettle, all these green leaves that we want to use chemicals on, that they wouldn't grow in our gardens, right? But actually, the nutrients that are inside are so powerful, and if you have the possibility and you have a garden and you live outside the city, you can use these herbs from there. Otherwise, there are different providers that actually already make these super mixes that you can order from Amazon even. I'm sure there's different opportunities as well in the States. But put this in your smoothie instead of some exotic fruits that are good as well. But if you think for a moment where we ship these exotic fruits to our countries or where they grow and then how they get to our table, it's usually long line, different dates, different times, and sometimes it's even a bit raw when it's packed. So you will not get these full nutrients that are promised on the package. But if you have local stuff, it comes from your grounds, it's best for you. And usually good price as well.
Right. Now, can you share some common herbs that are particularly beneficial for skincare and their specific effects on skin?
Yes, meadowsweet, for example, women really love it because it smells like honey. It grows like in big bushes around the roads, which is not really good place to pick them. So if you want to pick them, go deeper inside the meadow. But it's really hard to not see them because the smell is special for them. But if you put it on the skin, it's super good for even sensitive skin. It heals the microfractions in the skin super fast, and it's also anti-aging in a way that all your cells renew faster if you use it. Then another herb maybe you have heard is lady's mantle. That is again female herb, if we say it that way. It's good for the skin because it again renews the cells faster, but also helps to produce collagen in your body. And collagen is the, let's say, the main factor why our wrinkles are visible or are that deep. Because if collagen is lacking in your skin, it's not that soft anymore, right? If you touch it, it doesn't come up that fast. It stays in. And also elastin is the other one. But if you use lady's mantle, you can support your body to produce it more. Another one is red clover, for example. Again, you can see it from the meadows, but it's super anti-aging for the skin. But also, if you take it in, especially ladies who are near menopause, starting menopause, it helps to balance the hormones out. So sometimes the biggest issue is hot and cold flashes, but if you use red clover, it might help you to go through this process without this problem, for example.
Very nice. Now let's talk about face yoga and mindful movement. Now, I've never heard of face yoga. Of course, I've heard of yoga before, and it does fantastic things to my body and others as well. Now, face yoga is a growing trend in the wellness space. Can you go ahead and explain what it is and how it works to rejuvenate the skin?
Yes, this is one of my passions because it still amazes me how people understand that we have muscles in our body, but from neck up, nothing. But from neck up, we have over 50 muscles, which means they also need training. Of course, if you don't have time every day, do it at least few times a week. But I always recommend every day, 5 to 10 minutes, you see the results. Because the first things you see is lymphatic movement, blood flow is better. You can see it from the skin, right? Because the tone is different. But if you do it for the muscles, then you also start to see your different shape. Of course, when you start, let's say when you're 30, you get different results when you start at 50, because our body is starting to, let's say, uh, how to say it beautifully,
Yeah.
starts to slowly, um,
Disintegrate.
yes, there's no better way to say it, but it starts. The point is, like 45 and up, somewhere there. So that's why if you start at 30, it's easier to build a muscle. If you start at 50, you can still do it, but it takes more time. And you can still start when you're 70. So don't think that, oh my God, I'm 75, nothing will happen. It will, just don't expect that if you want to work with the cheeks, now you suddenly get huge muscles. Not that, but we can still work with lymphatic movement, blood flow. So the skin is lively. It's not like white and like dull. I'm sure everybody has seen this kind of skin, right? So the exercises help there and also to build the muscle. Because if you have muscles, cheek muscles, chin, then if the gravitation pulls down, it still stays up. It's not like coming down really badly, right?
Right. Yeah. Now, what are some of those simple face yoga exercises that listeners could go ahead and try at home to promote that youthful, radiant complexion?
Well, the easiest one is for the eyes. I would say it's the easiest, but it now depends on how people are used to use their muscles. You need to keep your forehead still. You can put your one hand on your forehead just to make sure it doesn't move. And then just bring your eyes as wide open as you can. Don't blink. Hold it here 5 seconds, and that is already good. You can breathe. It's in your own pace, easily breathe, but keep it open. And then the opposite now is to move the lower lid up and hold for 5 seconds. And this is the feeling like you want to read something from the far distance, but you can't really see. And then release. And this now works for the full circular muscle that is around your eye. And well, eyes are the most important part on our face because usually people who we meet look at your eyes, right? So this should be your everyday exercise. And especially for those who have issues with the lower lid puffiness. So every morning, start with the one eyes wide open and then squeeze it in. 5 seconds, already enough. And then
Wow.
maybe another one that is pretty funny. Kids love to do it as well. So why not do it together? Is for the cheeks because there's a lot of muscles under your cheek. So if you keep this toned, you look better always. So the first part is to pull your cheeks in, and the second part now is to smile with your upper cheeks towards up. So it looks like this. And then release. If you feel that this is too mainstream to move your cheeks up, it can be because this is a really difficult exercise. You can just start with pulling your cheeks in. Maybe you remember from the childhood called the fish face. Just do that 5 seconds and release. It's already good.
Mm. I'm going to start doing those because I mean, I would massage my face, but I really need to start working those muscles. It's like exercising.
Exactly. And that is good that you massage your face because we do have overworking muscles that really benefit from the massage. The one big one is forehead, and then 11 lines, and also these marionette lines here, right? So massage is good, but yes, toning with muscle training needs to be added for everybody.
Wow. Now, beyond aesthetics, what are those holistic benefits of face yoga and just overall well-being?
Well, it is like a moving meditation because
Mm,
a lot of people don't really like to sit in a quiet room and then meditate. It's too hard for them. But if you combine it with exercises, then for ladies who have kids, I always say lock the bathroom door, lit a candle with you, put some music on the background, and take these 5 to 10 minutes with you with these exercises because yes, you get your muscles toned, your face is like you like it because we are the most critical about ourselves. But if we see the results, our confidence raises, we feel better about ourselves, and everything else comes easier because we like what we see from the mirror. Plus, this meditative part that after 5 to 10 minutes alone in the bathroom, you can fill everybody else's cup. But as ladies, I often see, I have to work, I have to take care of family, I have to study, I have to do this, this, this. Their list is so long, and there's no time for me time. But if I don't have me time, my cup is empty. I can't fill everybody else's cup. So, in a bigger picture, doing face yoga and caring for your skin is really deep. It's your personal time to connect with yourself.
right. Now, would you actually mind sharing your own morning and evening routine that you do for yourself?
Happy to. Well, my routine is a bit longer because I like to start with half a liter water with some herbs inside, depending on whatever I find in my closet. It can be dried herb or it can be fresh one. It gives the taste to the water, but also gives you vitamins and minerals. Then I do some stretches for my body because I have the time to wake my body up, right? Probably the rhythm would be different if I had to storm out the house, but I work a lot from home, so I have this benefit. And then, of course, putting oil on my face. First, of course, washing my face with cold water, then adding oil to keep the moisture inside, and then doing, I always do three exercises in the morning, one for the eyes, one for the cheeks, and one for the jawline because my head is more oval. So there's a tendency that something can happen under the jaw, which I don't want. So that's why I'm super motivated to do these exercises. And I also do a small face massage, like you said, also to put the lymph moving, to put the blood flow moving, and to connect my body with my head in a way that there is also let's say when I start with the stretches, I also do my shoulders and neck area because often people do something on the face, but they don't do anything for the neck. And this is the biggest issue because the neck is so stiff in the morning, but you need to move it in order to get the blood flow and lymphatic system working. If this is stiff, no matter what you do on your face, you don't get the best results that you get, right? And then after, of course, I eat the breakfast. Either it's a green smoothie or some sandwich or porridge, depending on the day. And then I start my day, basically.
That's great. Oh, I always feel that morning routines are so important. Even if you can't really do an evening routine, just do a morning routine because that sets up your whole day. And I love that.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
if somebody doesn't have an evening routine and don't think they are an evening routine person, then I always suggest because I drink a lot of herbal teas.
Mm.
And in a way, it's a good time to actually take the stress off. Whatever happened during the day, just make a pot of tea and then drink your tea with a good book or a podcast or whatever you like. I got the two dogs at home, so sometimes I go to walk with them with my teacup in my other hand, just to take the tension off, put screens away, and get ready to bed. So that might be something to try.
Keep the key phrase there. Put screens away. Yes. That's the most important. Put the phone away, turn the TV off. You know what? Before I went to bed, I'd always watch TV. And guess what type of TV it was? It was the media, the news. And it's just put fear in me, and I would have no wonder why I had nightmares.
Exactly. The surprise is there.
I know. Oh my goodness. So yes, a good podcast, a good book, some tea. Those are great habits to start incorporating in the evening time for sure. Now, what exciting new projects or even initiatives are you actually working with MaiWistik?
I'm actually expanding to Amazon with face yoga training methods, or like a machine in a way that trains the masseter muscle and the jawline. And because I don't know if anybody even knows where Estonia is located, but we are so tiny country. So it has been fun to test here the products and see how people react. But I still want to change the world more. So that's why Amazon is the go gateway, because it's so much easier to actually bring your products through them than, let's say, I would like to sell in Germany. I would need to find a local person who could speak the language, who could speak with the shop owners, then discuss the rules, etc. It's so long and so hard way to go. But instead of with Amazon, there's two ways, like to go to the States or to go to Germany or somewhere else in Europe, and it's not that difficult. So at this point, this seems like good way. I have one product there so far. So now this year, slowly, I'm gonna launch my skincare as well there.
Oh, very nice. I love that. And how do you see the future of natural skincare and wellness actually evolving?
I actually see it growing really well. Maybe not with like 5 years to that point as I would like, but even based on what I have seen so far, people are starting to think more what they use. If it's not even what ingredients they use, at least they're thinking about the packaging. What kind of footprint will this product leave if I buy it? Of course, this doesn't go again with everybody, but there's more and more people thinking about it. And they are trying to understand more. Like I always say, look at the label, try to see if there's a percentage, like 95% natural. This is already good. You see, 95, of course, there's has to be some kind of preservatives inside, but 95 is good. 100 is good. Try to see what is easy to read, because if you start to read what is inside, people often don't understand because these are not in English. These are like specific terms that you can use there and have to use there. So this is made a bit difficult for everybody, but I see that people want to understand, and especially when they get kids, then they start to think. This is interesting point. Before, they can color their hair with whatever, paint their nails with whatever. But when they get kids, they're like, oh my God, there's toxins everywhere.
So funny, we don't think about ourselves. We're like, oh, we can care less about ourselves. But we need to be well so we can take care of our kids, you know? We
Exactly.
we actually come first. I'm sorry to say, because if mom's not well, how am I supposed to take care of my children? I need to make sure my health is a priority, and then I can set the example for them.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't dye my hair. I'm 43. I don't dye my hair. I'll see a couple of white hair stragglers here and there. And I mean, that's okay. But because those toxic chemicals, I don't even know when the last time I dyed my hair. I used to get highlights and everything. But I'm like, you know what? forget it. I hear what's, it makes hair probably fall out. I used to get those Brazilian blowouts before. I used to get extensions before. I used to go and do a bunch of stuff to my hair, and I'm like, no more. Naturally, I'm just gonna naturally gracefully age. So, so
That
we're
is good.
here.
That is excellent because also the younger we are, the more our body actually forgives us.
Yeah.
So that's why we can do whatever, like sleep 1 hour and then do whatever the next day, right? But try to sleep 1 hour when you're 30 or 40. It's like, what happened? I need my sleep.
Like a zombie the next day, like, no sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, any final words of encouragement you would like to go ahead and share with our listeners who are navigating their own wellness?
I would say that start with one step. Don't be now overwhelmed that, oh my God, I have to change my deodorant, my face oil, my hair color. I can't use nail polish anymore. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start with one thing. Just maybe decide, okay, I will change my deodorant this month. Maybe next month I do something else. Maybe March is the perfect month to start with face yoga. Small steps, because otherwise you will never change anything. It's too much.
Yeah, since we feel like overwhelmed, we just quit, right? But little steps, little changes, little shifts, and then we see the change, and then that encourages us to keep going. And then we'll add another new habit, start doing those yoga face exercises, having tea at night instead of going on the phone. Just small shifts, decide for one thing. And I love that you brought that up. So thank you. Now, Mai-Liis, where can our listeners go ahead and connect with you, get your products, social media, all that good stuff?
Yes, you can visit the website. You can see the name here, mywistik.eu, or you can find from Instagram or Facebook the same, even from TikTok, but I don't like that place that much. So better from Instagram or Facebook. Yes.
And everything will be in the show notes for our listeners. But thank you so much for being on my show and just sharing your light and your wisdom. Because once we do shine from within, we shine from without. And you just are changing the world by bringing these products out there. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. And the final sentence really clicks. That's so true. Thank you.
My pleasure.